On 29th June 2019, All Elite Wrestling held its second live event, Fyter Fest, a show simulcast on Bleacher Report Live. The event showcased what makes AEW different from the WWE, and hinted at how it will fare when it competes against Vince McMahon's promotion. Join us now as WrestleLamia looks at 9 subtle things that you might not have noticed at Fyter Fest. Number 1. The event did not sell out. While Double or Nothing and All Out sold out, that wasn't so with Fyter Fest, a show that did well at the box office, but failed to sell out like AEW's other shows. Depending on who you believe, Fyter Fest was close to a sellout or there was noticeably empty sections in the audience. Ringside News reported that AEW Fyter Fest tickets sold very well, but they didn't sell every seat in the house. Although some available seats are due to scalpers not being able to unload their tickets, it was still pretty noticeable that there were a few sections left bare in the building during the show. It should also be noted that so many seats sold that they actually opened up more seating as well. It might have been close, but they did not sell out as previously projected. Regardless of which story you believe, Fyter Fest sold well enough that it likely outsold Stomping Grounds, which had a significant number of people attending the show who did not buy tickets. And before you jump on us for being all negative, despite the low ticket sales for Stomping Grounds, it was actually a decent show, and the crowd does not always reflect a decent product. Number 2. The pre-show was lukewarm at best. While the main show received considerable positive feedback, Fyter Fest pre-show was seen as an uneventful start to the show. AEW deserves credit for putting on 3 matches in the pre-show, but none of the matches seemed to set the wrestling world on fire. The triple threat tag team match between best friends, i.e. Chuck Taylor and Trent Beretta, SoCal Uncensored, i.e. Scorpio Sky and Frankie Kazarian, and Private Party, i.e. Isaiah Cassidy and Mark Quinn, was highlighted by the Dark Order coming out of the match and apparently kidnapping best friends. We should also note that this was the best match on the pre-show. The Leather Bates, aka the Librarian vs. Ali match, was highlighted by Bates mocking Triple H, while the hardcore match between Michael Nakazawa and Alex J. Bailey featured a so-called comedy ending that seemed like something Vince McMahon would come up with. One thing AEW needs to work on is their warm-up show, as Double or Nothing's pre-game show was nothing special. Here, fans could watch the event for free on Bleacher Report online, but the pre-game offered no hint of what fans should expect on the main show, as the main show was arguably better. Much better. Number 3. There were few or no children in the audience. Although reports are anecdotal, it appears there were few or no children at Fyter Fest, leading people to wonder whether AEW is going to try and bring in these fans, as well as their parents. If AEW becomes popular with teens and young adults, it's only a matter of time before kids want to watch it, as they'll want to be part of what others perceive as cool. For what it's worth, it seems like AEW is trying to attract those who are dissatisfied with the WWE, or grew up watching wrestling during the Attitude Era. Number 4. Cody Rhodes got hurt. Fans watching the Cody match wondered just how hurt the star was, as Rhodes took an unprotected chair shot to the head after the man formerly known in WWE as Ty Dillinger ran in after Cody's brutal 20-minute draw with Darby Allin. Whilst the unprotected chair shot did not cause the wound that was heavily gushing from his head, as Cody did blade, and might we notice he did blade on the wrong side of his head, the wound was so big that he had to receive 12 staples to close up the wound. AEW President Tony Khan addressed the injury at a post-event media conference saying, "We called a doctor immediately. It was obviously really regrettable what happened. I don't know if this is time to go into what happened, but we had taken precautions in this situation in that specific situation. A doctor was available and Cody does not have a concussion, he has staples, and we're all very grateful for that." Whilst the chair shot was sickening, in our opinion it still doesn't beat the beatdown that Mick Foley got at the 1999 Royal Rumble in an I Quit match against The Rock. As when you look at that footage, it's not hard to understand why the WWE has banned unprotected chair shots to the head. But nonetheless, number 5, AEW will feature hardcore wrestling. Fans had wondered if AEW will feature any hardcore wrestling, a style once used in the WWE on some occasions, but eventually phased out due to the promotion's concern about concussions, both from the Chris Benoit tragedy and the class action concussion lawsuit filed against the WWE and its shift to a more family-friendly product. Last night's Fyter Fest made it clear AEW isn't afraid to feature hardcore wrestling as seen in the pre-game show, the brutal time limit draw between Cody and Allen, including the previously mentioned unprotected chair shot to the head taken by Cody, or the unsanctioned match between Jon Moxley and Joey Janela. Undoubtedly the most brutal match of the night was the Moxley-Janela match, which saw the use of blood, barbed wire boards, thumbtacks and tables. As if that wasn't enough, Kenny Omega ran in after Moxley defeated Janela, laying Moxley out with a guitar and DDTing him on a garbage can. So the days of mainstream hardcore wrestling aren't over, at least in AEW, but what does that mean for the promotion's TV programming, and how will TNT respond to AEW's violent matches? While fans will see hardcore matches at live events, AEW's Tony Khan noted the difference between these events and AEW's upcoming weekly television show on TNT. During the media conference after Fyter Fest, Khan was asked whether the violence displayed at the event would occur on AEW's weekly TV. He mentioned, "No, definitely not. This was not TV, it was a streaming show. It was effectively a pay-per-view in a lot of the world. In the US it was presented free, but this was a pay-per-view. You can expect different rules for pay-per-view, and we said going in these are non-sanctioned hardcore matches." Number 6. The Young Bucks and Kenny Omega mocked Batista. It looks like AEW's wrestlers are far from done taking subtle and not so subtle shots at the WWE. Last night's show featured a subtle shot that many fans might not have caught. This happened during the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega's entrance for their match against the Lucha Bros and Laredo Kid. A supposed fan showed up, mimicking Batista's old entrance where he pretended to fire a machine gun only for Kenny Omega to lay out the kayfabe fan. This harkened back to the real-life incident where a fan sneaked backstage and mimicked Batista's entrance as the animal exited the dressing room, leading to WWE security chasing down the fan. While this was a subtle slight at the WWE, it shows that AEW likes to make jokes that only die-hard wrestling fans might pick up. These Easter eggs are a representative of what appears to be AEW's mindset of appealing to smarks and casual fans, with something for everyone. Number 7. Mocking Triple H. A not so subtle dig at the WWE occurred during Fyter Fest pre-show when former WWE developmental worker Lever Bates, who worked in the WWE as Blue Pants, battled Ali. Bates tried to stop her mid-match comeback by hitting a pedigree on her, only for her to kick out and eventually win the match. Her kick out from a move Triple H is well known for was seen by some as a shot at the game, given his long-time use of the move and many matches he's won during his career. Number 8. Social media savvy. Whatever its flaws, Fyter Fest demonstrated AEW management's skilled use and knowledge of social media and what's important to their demographics. In case you didn't know it, Fyter Fest was but one component of a weekend event involving e-gamers gathering together for CEO, one of the biggest esports gaming tournaments in the United States. While the hardcore match between Michael Nakazawa and Alex Chapeli featured a so-called comedy ending that seemed something like Vince McMahon would come up with. As reported by ESPN, CEO organizer Alex Chapeli decided to co-promote his event with AEW, noting, "Bringing together the wrestling world with the fighting game community has been a dream come true. Also, being a part of AEW's second show and performing in front of nearly 5,000 is something I'll never forget, and I hope I can entertain people from both worlds. Seeing this all come together is an experience that has inspired myself to continue CEO's growth for even the next 10 years. This cross-promotion is a reminder of how AEW has been able to spread the word about its product without having to rely on wrestling's traditional source of advertisement, i.e. television. When AEW does get its TV show, it'll be interesting to see how much, if any, additional fans they'll be able to pick up." And number 9. Vince McMahon thinks AEW will burn out. After much speculation as to what Vince McMahon thinks of All Elite Wrestling, rumour has it that McMahon thinks the promotion will go under, self-imploding after failing to live up to the fans' expectations. Tom Colohue of Post Wrestling reported, "The feeling is that AEW will implode under the weight of their own hype. Nobody here is feeling any pressure." WWE source. This may be wishful thinking on McMahon's part, as AEW seems to be doing quite well so far, considering the promotion's success with Double or Nothing, including meeting its pay-per-view goals and its sellout of the upcoming All Out show. Fyter Fest was certainly a decent show, but it certainly had its flaws. Did you watch the show, and if so, what did you think of it? Be sure to leave your comments down below. Subscribe if you haven't already, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.